Hey, welcome back to Sound Waves. In this episode, transformational life coach Chandra Lynn from Glow Living is here. I'm so excited to be able to share her with you. We're going to talk about monetizing for indie artists. We're going to be able to gain you access to her tools and interviews with Steve Vai and other artists. And more importantly, and this just happened, she has a course to help you live a life worth living and a life that you absolutely can create for yourself. She's offering the course absolutely free to some of my Sound Waves viewers. Stay tuned to find out how. Chandra, how you doing?
I'm great. This is so long in coming. We've been talking about collaborating for years. I had looked forward to being on your ultimate guitar cruise, and here we are stuck at home with the
It's
coronavirus.
okay. It's okay.
Luckily, you look well, and I'm healthy, so we have something to be grateful for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad. And thank you so much for doing this. And I have been meaning to reconnect. That's one of the things that, COVID has brought is, Sound Waves. I'm able to connect with some phenomenal people. And yeah, the ultimate guitar cruise. And that's still in the works, fortunately, for 2022, when everybody's going to be screaming to get out of the house and that type of thing. So how have you been doing? Let's talk about
I've
Glow
been
Living
doing
Glow and your
okay.
recently with NAMM. Let's start with that. I want to, you were with NAMM has been turned into Believe in Music, and to talk about that, Believe in Music. It was downloadable as an app in the NAMM thing. They didn't have NAMM last year, of course. So yeah, please share about that. How did you get involved with? Well, you're always involved with NAMM. How did you get involved with NAMM initially? And then, of course, let's go right to 2020 here with 2021 NAMM with Believe in Music.
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean, I've been working with NAMM for many, many years as a speaker at this point. I was initially introduced by Lisa Chamblay and Dave Hampton. They had a panel back then on branding, brand strategies, helping artists with brand endorsements. And ever since, I kind of kept involved with NAMM and being hired directly for all types of different things. In fact, before getting into this year's topic, I was going to tell you guys that you are welcome to go to my Glow Living channel, and I have a lot of videos from past NAMMs. I mean, luckily NAMM has been willing to record some of them. And so I have strategies with on brand strategies and endorsements, crafting a hit record. I've done artist interviews and so forth. And this year, because of the pandemic and because of NAMM being online, we decided to focus specifically on how to help artists survive the pandemic with different monetization strategies. So I partnered with Alex Villanueva, who is a producer and engineer. He's also in an awesome alternative Latin rock band. And he's an indie artist himself and totally gets this. And we presented our top 10 strategies. So you're seeing a picture of just the little promo for that, which happened in January. But the video for the full presentation is available to you right now on YouTube. And there's a link also underneath the video for my slide deck. So that's something where people can learn these top strategies. And I can see if I can share my screen here with you guys. Can you see my screen or no?
Yeah, we got you here.
I'm kind of small, but so this is the video that you can watch. I can just kind of scrub through it a little bit. We do talk about all kinds of different ways, from live streaming to merchandise sales to having concerts online to I'm just kind of clicking through randomly to getting into providing services like mixing, mastering, working with people as a songwriter, sync licensing, teaching, all these different ways. So I welcome you to check this out. We'll provide the link to you for this video, and then underneath is this little link here, which will go to this awesome slide deck that I put together that, goes through all of it. I'm just rushing through it because although we can talk about some of these things here, I just wanted to let you know this is a resource available without actually teaching on it today.
That's some phenomenal stuff. But let me ask you, let's like one of the points that you did, let's go glaze over, if you will, how you get royalties, what organizations help independent artists um, acquire royalties for stuff that's played online.
Yeah, so you need to sign up with performing rights organizations, like choose a ASCAP or BMI, and then that can, help you get started with that. I think ASCAP has a $50 fee to join, and they do a lot for members. BMI is free, but they're just a little different. So you've got to research the nuances for yourself. But yeah, they will help you, and you might as well take advantage of those services if you're not already.
Yeah, for
But there's
sure.
some other things, I've been working. I actually have a new client. They're called Trubify, and they
Oh
have a
yeah,
live streaming app. And they actually have already negotiated the rights for you to do cover songs. So you can play your original material, but if you do want to do a cover, which is something that a lot of people can search by and find you for artist discovery, the rights are kind of built in with them on that platform. So I definitely invite you to check out Trubify. They're poised to actually pay out the most of any platform because fans can tip and they can buy tickets to your stuff, soon. And they're really early stages, and I've seen the product roadmap, and they're rolling out some amazing features that are gonna, I really think help change the game in terms of artists getting paid fairly, equitably, once and for all. So their whole mission is about the ethics behind the industry and helping to make sure that artists are seeing their fair share of money.
that's phenomenal. So I just shared a little bit of that. There was the Tubify website. Uh,
Thank
the
you.
Yeah, for sure. And here's just to get you privy. Let's see if I can bring this up as well. This is Chandra's Facebook page,
Oh, it's in black. That's a different look. I always see
right?
it in the white. Yeah, you've got this stealthy, cool
Yeah.
black version.
Um.
So
Uh,
I should
yeah.
I should actually let them know. So I've been in the industry a really long time. Some people would call me a veteran in the music industry, and I have been training on behalf of NAMM, but I've also been consulting under Glow Marketing with all kinds of brands, from Avid Pro Tools to working with PMC speakers, Plugin Alliance, Line 6, Antares and Autotune. I mean, there's just a ton of brands that I've worked with over the years. And back in, what was it, 2014 or so, I launched my own brand called Glow Living. And so you're going to be able to visit both glowliving.com and glowmarketing.com to learn about me. Or you could simply go to chandralynn.com. That'll take you to both. But Glow Living is really a personal growth and development website. It's to help musicians and other people with all kinds of, ways of getting unstuck and rising to their fullest potential. And I've worked with tons of artists, celebrities, and people that come from all walks of life in order to help them with reaching their fullest potential is really what it's about. Yep, Root to Rise is my online course. You are just queuing this up for me. Thank you so much. That helps people with kind of getting back to what's important to them, what's truly authentic in terms of what they want to offer the world, getting back to that vision and starting to realize it, reaching that highest potential and connecting to what you want to be known for and making it happen. So if you're an artist, that can, be like connecting to your audience that you really resonate with. It can it can be getting unblocked in any way from whatever is keeping you from creating. If you're having any of those issues, it can help people with that have developed, let's just say, unhealthy ways of meeting their needs, get unstuck from those type of things holding them back, and then getting on to that rising up and feeling empowered and being able to meet all your goals. So that's what Root to Rise is about. And for you guys, I've given David a link that will share to 75% off my course, which brings it down
Wow.
to, like, I think it's under $40, literally $37.25. I mean, I made this really, cheap for the pandemic to help everybody get through such a hard time and be able to use this time to focus on their personal growth.
Phenomenal stuff, and the stuff will be in the link. Didn't mean to get rid of you there. Sorry.
Oh, I'm still here.
There's so much to unpack with you. There's just so much to
Thank
unpack with
you.
you. So yeah, go to the description of the video for the show. Because in addition to changing your life and then marketing your wares and the like, the interviews, I want to find the link. Oh, here it is. I want to share this link with the viewers here as well. And let me just check something here. Oh, here it is.
I did give you a lot of links to share. I know we shared my Glow Living YouTube page, and that has artist interviews and all kinds of training materials related to both Glow Living and Glow Marketing's activities. So that's a good resource. But what do you got there? There's something that's gonna.
It's your video. It's the Glow Living video. The videos with lessons learned from the road. Steve Vai.
Yeah.
Let me bring that up.
Steve Vai was fantastic. I mean, I was able to break up that interview into a few different videos, and it got picked up in Guitar World and stuff, and that helped contribute to the subscribers on the channel. So I really hope everyone not only watches the video but subscribes, because I'm going to have a lot more coming. But we did also, excuse me, the NAMM videos. Some of the ones that NAMM recorded for me, I've placed up there, like the video that we interviewed Omar, Hakim, and Rachel Z, Dave Aude, who has, the most #1 hits on the Billboard dance charts of anyone all time. I mean, there's just tons of stuff there. There's David Isaacs, who's a Grammy-winning producer, worked with a lot of Motown artists from Michael Jackson to, everyone. I mean, he's just insane. I mean, he's so accomplished. And Pato Banton, I don't know if you guys remember the reggae song. I only smoke the Sinsemilla. I don't do the coca. Sinsemilla. You remember that one?
I do not do
I
the
love him.
coca. I
He
only
was the
smoke
best.
Sinsemilla. Yeah, it's awesome.
You know it. Yep.
Yeah.
It's oldie but goodie, and he's got so much wisdom to share. That man was a friggin' force to be reckoned with on a positivity scale. So these guys are all amazing. And what's cool, and what Steve told me about this interview was, he was like, he gave me this super small window, like 15 minutes or something. And then I ended up talking to him for like hour and a half.
Nice.
And he was saying, nobody ever asked me about this stuff, like it's all about, how his coping mechanisms for everything from his, being with David Lee Roth and having to keep up with him on stage and be healthy on tour, to unblocking his creativity, to his spirituality and his, vegan lifestyle, and just so many different things he shared that kind of transcend just his identity as a guitar player. So I love that one.
Chandra, what I want to do, let me just for kicks, I'm going to throw the video on. I don't know if you see it there. There's you with Steve there at his place. I forget, what does it call his studio? I forgot. He has a name for it.
Does he? I don't even know.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I spent a day there, but I don't know the name of it.
He's yeah, well, let me just here's the video.
That is in his live room. He's got tons of gear in there.
Yeah, he does.
We probably should have panned just so everybody could see all the cool stuff.
But I'm going to pull the video up and then I'm going to just spin it and land on something.
Hopefully we'll land on some words of wisdom.
I know, right? Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Boom.
You can expand it if you want.
Every little thing you say, every little thing you do, and the universe doesn't care if you're recognized on the level of worldly success for it or not. What it cares about is that you feel joy when you're doing it, right? Because that's what it enjoys. Because that's what you enjoy, right?
Absolutely.
You cannot get any better than feeling infinite freedom within yourself to expand the universe in any way that you want, and then finding the joy in it.
There you go. That was good. That was a lucky land. I'll
An
call.
understanding of how we're talking at a different level than you'll hear in a typical guitar magazine interview. Yeah, we got real deep that day.
That was awesome. Let me just grab another one because I have to do it. It's the Omar, Hakim, Rachel Z. This is where I met you. This is where I met Chandra, was at NAMM. I was walking around NAMM. I go every year and I love it. Those are my NAMM fam. Anyway, so Chandra's now a new part of my NAMM fam. So I'm walking around and there's Chandra interviewing Omar Hakim, and my favorite drummer, and Rachel Z, who you probably know from, Peter Gabriel's albums and a bunch of other things. So they just really just dropped it down to earth level. And it was just like, we're having a moment, we're having a conversation, just really deep core stuff. Phenomenal interview. So that's where I met Chandra. What was that? Was that 2 years ago at NAMM?
It may have been even 3. We'd have to look at the date. I was horrible at dates, by the way, but because I can remember the experience, but not the date. But yeah, I think my long-term relationship with Omar allowed me to go deeper on this interview as well. And I just know kind of enough of his past to be able to get him to talk about all kinds of stuff. But Rachel is amazing too. They're married, and so it's really interesting to hear how just kind of how well they groove together and how they can just enhance each other.
Yeah, let's do another drop. Here we go.
Okay, so are you on Rachel?
Well, in any business, if you want to be a doctor and you know it, if you want to be an engineer and you know it, if you want to be a pilot and you know it, it's not about a safety net. You have to know that that's your passion, and you have to be willing to make that 1,000% commitment to what you believe in, no matter what the job is. Because the only way that you're going to accomplish what it is that you're going to accomplish is when you give it everything. And that's scary sometimes. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, well, I got to have the safety net. And the parents would give me that evil eye look when I would tell them, no, you got to remove that safety net.
I love that part of the interview, a lot. He went into, and the viewers, people watching can go and dig into Rachel's set list, and that'll be in the description. That was one of the, when I, just for me, this interview is about you, but I will say.
No, I love hearing the reactions to this content. I mean, this is what I live for, right? This is my gift to the world, giving this stuff away. So
Amen.
Let's hear what landed on you. I feel like if you were there to experience it. So
yeah, well, it's as simple as when oh yeah, you're over here. There you are. I see you. When it's as simple as, if I'm feeling a little down, or I'm depressed, or whatever, I just need that little, that little sip of inspiration or whatever. This is a video I go to listen to Omar Hakim. Wow. You know what I mean? And thanks
that means
to you.
A lot.
Yeah, I know. That's in a bigger picture. That's what I don't want to say that's what it's all about, but I'm going to preface this by saying I went and did your little quiz on your website, on the Glow Living website, and I came up with variety. So variety was my thing, but I'm extremely philanthropic. I have a really soft place in my heart for kids, like youth-oriented music programs. Is one of the things about the cruise, is at-risk youth, because I spend a lot of time teaching at-risk youth music, and I see the change that started to take place in their lives. They learned something new. They gained a little confidence in themselves through music and the therapy that music is, and then they share it with their friend, and they show their friend how to play a little. Now they're starting a band. Now the band gets signed. And then they forget to give me credit for it, which is the downside. No, I'm kidding.
Well, I'm not getting credit for this years later. I mean, here's the thing about it, is that people don't always understand what they say. Well, you're a marketing expert and now you're talking about this personal growth stuff. What is this about? And I think you illustrating the power of this with those 2 quick video clips shows why they're interconnected. If I can help somebody be the best that they can be, to be able to offer out the gifts that they have through their music and songwriting and all of that and showmanship, then help them not only with on the personal side of balancing their life and expressing themselves to their fullest potential, but then marketing it afterwards so that people can see the light of day, so that people know it's available. That can make a huge impact in somebody's life. And so that's what kind of helps fuel me. And I think that for me, it did just start out as marketing, but as I started developing these true, genuine relationships and started to be relied on to coach them through, some of their blocks and things like that, I was able to marry the two. And yes, I still have Glow Marketing as services and Glow Living as more the coaching side, so that there's some separation. But it's integrated in me. It's part of what I offer as a package when I'm working with people. So thank you for helping me illustrate that through those videos, because it's nice to see them living on.
Oh yeah,
I think NAMM will like it too.
I hope NAMM likes it. And put a good word into NAMM for me. I don't know why I said that.
For sure. I mean, no, love the fact that you're helping to promote their latest online effort. I think it's really important for everybody to go look at that content. There's more than just me up there. I mean, there's tons of sessions that you may have missed, and a lot of them are on replay, and they're all free. So go check them out. One of my clients is Rafter Marsh Law, and they did one. They brought some artists on, the son of Willie Nelson and his producer, and they talked about live streaming, how to make money as well. A little bit different angle than mine, but I think that they were really complimentary. So I definitely would check out the one that was moderated by Heather Rafter. And there's so many others. 80/20 Records did one. There's so many. I can't even mention them all. So sorry, friends, that fellow presenters, but go up to the NAMM thing, see if it's still available, and definitely check their website.
We should I'll put that in the description. We'll make sure I add.
Yeah, the Believe in Music sessions. They're really great. And I think, they really want to focus on monetization strategies, because they know artists are struggling right now, not being able to tour and stuff. So I definitely focused on that in mine, and think that there's a lot there that people can focus on doing. And I also invite people to take the time to do the personal growth work, whether it's with me or any of your other resources, taking a yoga class or meditating or journaling, or, getting into spiritual practices, or, go to your, whatever guru. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the vehicle is, as long as you're connecting with your heart and your passions, and you're allowing that to be expressed through your art.
Is this where people would go to start with the Glow Living?
Yes. Well, see, you just press that button, start to glow. What that will do is that'll just put you on my newsletter, and then my newsletter just comes out once a month. But there's a link, lots of links from the newsletter to these things we're talking about. So they missed the February newsletter, but I have one coming out in March. So, and I don't spam anybody. I keep everything, all the information private. But yeah, I think that the best thing to do is get on that newsletter, and then visit just definitely follow. I mean, everybody wants you to follow their channels, but I'm putting content up there always. So I would say follow me on whatever platform you love. I've got Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, my own website. And it's all that stuff can be, just dig around, find it all.
Yeah, I get your emails, and I can't believe how busy you are.
Cool.
It's phenomenal. You're living the life of faith that Omar. But let's go back a little bit. What drives you to do what you're doing?
Well, I mean, I think it's contributing beyond myself. I mean, there's a lot of things I can do for my own self-fulfillment and growth that I do prioritize. But I just love to help other people. And, I really enjoy being around people that are happy and creative. And so whatever I can do to help people, I try to put out there. And that can sometimes be, well, I've defined it. This is my infographic for the Root to Rise course. And I've defined it as, needing to look at these, like go into your roots and see how you're doing with your career and your health and fitness, in your relationships, in your family and your friends. If you're meeting your needs in healthy ways in these areas, that's where you're going to get a strong foundation to rise from. And so I love to get in the roots, in the mud, whatever, with people, and try to figure out areas where they're getting stuck so they can break through that and rise to their potential. Because when they do, I just think that it elevates the positive energy on the planet. And we have to come forward with, I'm not a Pollyanna type of person really, or coach, but I do believe that we all have to come forward with a lot of positivity right now to counteract the negative forces that are going on in the world today, whether it be with, the coronavirus health issues, or the political climate we're in, or, just all of the division that's happening, all the inequalities that are happening. And we have to give a voice to that. And it needs to be a positive voice of unity and diversity and inclusion and all of that type of stuff. So it drives me to put positivity out in the world so that it can have that yin yang balance effect with combating the negative forces. Try to be a little, political in that way, but trying to make sure that I help inspire others to do the same. It's a long-winded answer, but it could go on and on. What drives me,
Well, this is a legacy thing. Then.
What's that?
Is that a legacy? It almost sounds like you're moving toward a legacy. Like you want to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Root to Rise is something that I've created to leave a legacy for sure. Here's the thing. So first of all, my grandparents were psychologists. So I've always kind of had this running in my blood. But when I was a teenager, I started getting into a lot of my own personal growth and development. And I didn't really there's not one easy way to figure all this stuff out. There was tons of influences, right? So there's not just one thing that I subscribe to. I started kind of pulling in all these universal truths. And I realized that nature-based wisdom was something that everybody could relate to. We could understand Root to Rise and the tree pose because we are nature-based beings ourselves, right? So when I use a lot of metaphors related to nature because I feel like everybody can relate to it, and then it becomes approachable for everyone. And I've built a framework that I think works through all of the main key life areas, unblocks them so that people can start to create more balance, and they can start visualizing a future and leaving their own legacies. And I really believe that part of that is, tapping into what fuels you, which is I call your taproot, but also helps you reach towards what you want to contribute, like a higher purpose, which, by the way, I don't think is bestowed on by some magical forces. I think we choose our purpose, and we can change that purpose as well, but that we can align to whatever we want. So right now I'm aligning to, yes, helping to create a legacy for myself, but really helping other people tap into that and joining forces as positive voices. That's what my thing is right now.
Wow. That's awesome. That's so much there. I'm just like, my head's spinning.
It is a lot to unpack, but the best way to do it is to, get into there's free videos. I got tons of free videos people can watch, but if they want to take this course, it's under $40, and they can just kind of work through it themselves and tell me what the impact is. The course is actually 2 parts. This is the first part is just getting into these roots. Then they can start to rise up. This whole program is starts from the bottom up. We have to be willing to go back to our roots before we can start to even expect ourselves to rise and reach our highest. That's the thing is, okay, so I'm 50 years old now, and I felt some disillusionment, like, oh my God, I had this idea, for myself, and I didn't get there yet, or I'm on a totally different course now. And for me to get clear on what I wanted to do going forward, I had to go back to my roots. I had to go, what do I really believe in? Like you said, what fuels you and all of that type of stuff. I had to go back and connect with the fact that my grandparents were psychologists. I didn't have that at top of mind before, that I have this running in my blood that is part of who I am, my DNA. And so when I connected to that, that's what I call connecting to your authenticity. And when you can do that, then you can offer from this really genuine place. And that's what resonates with people, right? I mean, when you can resonate with somebody on an authentic level, I think that's how a lot of artists can really build loyal followings, by the way, is when an audience, hears a song and they can relate it to their life, and they have empathy, and that artist is vulnerable and they're being true to themselves and authentic. That's where fans are just going to be like, yes, more, please.
Yeah,
And
for
so
sure.
I've had to walk the talk and come from my own authenticity to do this work. I've had to unstick my own roots, and I have to go back to my roots periodically, because when you grow, new shit gets in the way and you have to overcome new challenges. But that's what growth is all about. It's not meant to just be easy for everyone, or we wouldn't necessarily grow. We've got to, no pain, no gain. We got to go through a little bit of pain to motivate ourselves to like push through that and figure out what those lessons were that were left behind, so that we can, move forward. Progress is the key to joy.
Wow. Progress is the key to joy. Huh.
This is my kind of my rise equation. It's like, you need to feel, I think it's because the universe expands, right? We're constantly expanding. It's just part of what's happening. And when we are allowing ourselves to expand, we're allowing for progress in the areas of our goals, and we're not letting those things hold us back that are keeping our roots stuck, then we can feel so much joy. When people are struggling with depression and anxieties and that type of stuff, it's because they're being held back in really deep ways, that that's what I call, inside your roots, inside your foundation. There was something that happened, or, either childhood trauma, or like something, some belief system that's a little bit off, or like you grew to believe something that wasn't necessarily empowering. Like in the music industry, I could easily have a belief that women are really competitive with each other and it's a male and dominated industry and I'm not going to be successful. But I chose not to believe that. I know a lot of other people have had a hard time in the male dominated music industry. And I've chosen to say, well, actually, that's what makes me unique, is not being one of the dominant, people in the industry. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, what makes me unique is that I am a woman in this industry doing business and helping people. So I think, it's all about how you look at things, and reframing things becomes really important. But progress helps bring about joy. So get unstuck, and Root Rise can help with that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that just goes back to, I'm going to be spending time. I'm going to have to put some time in my schedule and just have like glow for an hour from 1 to 2. I'm going to glow and dig into all these resources. And I love that. We
Thank
have
you.
to. Yeah, well, it's aligned with my, with the Ultimate Guitar Cruise, and even just teaching some lessons. If there's some way, okay, think about the times. I can think of a couple teachers I've had in my past, even in college or younger, where they might have done something, and they're sort of, and of course, you keep in mind that to a certain extent, we're also unsung heroes in a sense. I've heard somebody say something, or a teacher explain something, or just give me a compliment or something that, I've taken with me. I've never went back around, and they may not even be alive anymore, but I didn't thank them. And, and it didn't hit me until later in my life that like that comment hits me, and I'm like, oh my God, that was a big deal. I wasn't as mindful. I wasn't woke. I was so caught up in my little ego, crushing down on myself and all my little stories, that I wasn't mindful. I'm just going to use that word, mindful, enough. And the alignment aspect of it is that I hope I can touch people. I might not know it, but it's nice when you do hear it, but I may touch people, and I hope that, I don't know if that's a legacy scenario, but I want to do things in this lifetime that are going to inspire people like I've been inspired. I don't care if it's an actor or a movie or something where, it's touched, it's touched us in a way. And I guess maybe
I
you
love
could,
that. I think a lot of artists are aligned to that. Their music, they hope it touches somebody, and I think a lot of people have that need to, and that's one way we connect. But I was going to say, when you were saying somebody told you something early in life, so that can go positively or negatively. Okay, so this, one of the ways that people get stuck in their roots is because they form this belief. Right now, how do you form a belief? Say when you're young and somebody you admire tells you something like, oh, as a woman you're never going to make it in the music industry, then what impact would that have on me, especially if I trusted and believed in them, right? So I would say that it can go the other direction too. Somebody be like, you can do anything, whatever you set your mind to, you're going to be successful. And so I won't even think there's a block with being a woman in the music industry. I'm just using women in the music industry as an example. It could be anything. It could be, you could have this is a really common one. And it happened to me when I was a teenager learning to play drums is, you don't have to work really hard at it because you're not really a natural. Have you ever heard that? You're not a natural. So look at this guy, he's a natural. You could just see how easy it comes to him. Well, nobody knows that. He could have spent 10,000 hours or more doing his, learning how to play like that. But he looks and seems like a natural because it's effortless for the mastery he's at that time. But so if I was told, look, you have to it's really work at things. You're never going to be, you're not a natural. That might completely make me turned off to ever pursuing it. I'm going to find out what's natural to me and go do that instead. Oh, you're really a natural with, talking to people and the gift of gab. So do that, and so, okay, I'll do that, become, something else. So I think that we have to really look at those early influences and, get a therapist or whatever, if you have to unpack that for yourself. But yes, it's figure out if there's things that have been said to you in the past or beliefs that you've adopted along the way that have helped you, form these ideas about your identity and what you can and can't do in this life. And if you have to have those reframed and start to practice, looking at it differently now that you're an adult and a conscious, awoke, a mindful person, do it, because it's so worth it. What if you were able to change the reframe the meanings behind these things that have been holding you back? What will you be able to do? I mean, that's what this is all about.
I love that. Wow.
Ooh, join us live if you have any questions for me. Let's do that.
Yeah. Well, we're live and people can, so I can bring them up on the screen. Good times with the Be Live viewer. So that's been fun. And I'm looking forward to doing more of that. And we should have you back for our second show because there's just so much to unpack.
Okay.
Because I mean, during COVID, let's say, we have, and you can look at that positively and frame that to mean that, at one point in all of our lives on the planet, we might have said, God, I just need a break, or right. So here's the break. We got the big reset where, for people who aren't working and you're able to stay at home, crack open that book you've been wanting to read, learn that language. I mean, this was a year ago now. We've had an entire year. I feel like I should be able to fly or something, amazing. I should have a tan and I should be in great shape. And I don't want to say I should be the I should be's of COVID.
That shitting on yourself type of thing.
Yeah,
but there's nothing wrong with setting goals.
No. But the thing is we do have now the time to move toward those things that would make us, find ways to reframe. And, we have this time, one thing COVID brought is for some of us that are self-quarantining, like sound waves. This is my way to reconnect with you.
Absolutely.
I mean, it would be one thing to say, hey, let me call you on the phone, which is my typical get down, but it would be nice to Zoom with you. But now we get to do it and promote what you're doing. That's also going to help. So both of us here are, ambassadors, if you will, of allowing other people to come in and glow and to live the life that they can. Danica Patrick. I don't know if you're familiar with her. She's has this show, Pretty Intense. So she started a show, and she's on time. Like, one thing that I haven't done is, like, I have at 9 o'clock on Saturdays, my show, Sound Waves it's been very inconsistent, and I'm okay with it now. So I'm inconsistent. So you got to be on your toes and ready to get the sound waves, the waves of love. Anyway, so my point was that, it's a time where people can take advantage of it, and I'll
I'm a huge advocate of.
because I'm running into, okay, I'll talk about the Ultimate Guitar Cruise just for a second. Because I found a fiscal sponsor, and now I have the opportunity to offer tax deductions for people who, financially up to a certain amount, and in-kind donations with guitar makers through Sound Waves now with COVID. And an extension of that is, I can reconnect and nurture my relationships with people in the music industry, guitar makers, Grover Jackson or whoever, and find a place for them to live within the Ultimate Guitar Cruise, whether their name is only going to be this big, or whether they want to sponsor an artist to do a performance and a master class, like, if Paul Reed Smith would happen to sponsor Orianthi. That's not something that's in the works right now, but you never know what could happen. So it's a way, the purpose of the whole thing, in addition to helping me out to have, reconnect, and I can do Sound Waves and do the cruise. Ultimately, the portion of the proceeds are going to benefit youth-oriented music programs, because I relate to that broken kid that needed somebody to show them how to play a guitar. I taught myself. So, but regardless, a lot of musicians right now during COVID are looking for ways to monetize. They're, and for whatever reason, they express themselves, or they write songs. Maybe they write songs because it's self-expression. It's another reason that musicians in particular are hit a little harder. I'm going on, and I apologize for that, but I do want to say that I want to give a little a hit to an organization called Music Cares. It's the charitable arm of the Recording Academy and the Grammys. Music Cares is there to help artists in need. And right now, musicians aren't able to express themselves the way they're used to express, especially some with years of touring experience to crowds of people. There's no tours. There's some small tours, but they're not, so how is that affecting them? We're faced with doubting ourselves, and the should list, or shoulding on ourselves, as you said. And another reason that you should pick up your mouse and click on the button to glow, why not? It's not, these are, and Chandra works with so many. Can you just give us a quick, it's not going to be quick, but you have such a background with everything from Apple Computer to, marketing for big brands, Mercedes, and to DigiDesign before they were Pro Tools. You have years of experience with the music industry.
That's true. Yes, well, I got my start in major market radio in downtown San Francisco, KFOG Radio, and that kind of set me off and in the right direction, because it was the music industry, even though it was broadcasting. We were working with artists back then, promoting shows and whatnot. And I was working on my MBA at the time, so it was a really great compliment to be in school and working at the station. And of course, I grew from that, and I moved on to work for. I stayed in media relations. I worked for a guitar player, bass player, keyboard. I worked for Bill Graham Presents, and then I went on to tickets.com. So I promoted at Bill Graham. I was promoting like 400 shows a year. Tickets.com was even more, because we had more than just the Bill Graham shows. We had, sports teams and Broadway theater and fairs and festivals, anything you could sell a ticket to. So that was cool. And then, I started my Glow marketing consulting business after leaving tickets.com. And I ran into a friend who got a job at DigiDesign wanted me to help launch Pro Tools HD at NAMM. So it was started as a contract gig, and then they offered me a full-time job. I worked there for a little over 5 years. And then I decided to handling artist relations and PR specifically. So I did work with, top artists because of Pro Tools being, the number one recording platform. So I did promotions with Trent Reznor of Nine Inch Nails, with will.i.am, Black Eyed Peas. Black Eyed Peas played a private concert for us. There were so many cool things. The Roots played a concert for us. I was working with big artists, and that was super cool. But then I had a baby. So I decided I'm going back to consulting people. I don't want to commute anymore. And Glow Marketing was resurrected again. And through that, I've stayed freelance. And my son is now 15. So I've been doing this, working for so many brands. You did mention Apple Computer. I've worked in and out of the music industry with that. I also worked with Smart Car Mercedes, Plug-in Alliance. Currently, I'm working with Trubify. I think everybody should go sign up on Trubify because you can get tipped, you can get paid for your work immediately. So start live streaming. That's what you can do right now. And I'm also working with a client called Mojo Vision, and they're building the next, the first fully functional smart contact lens. So the contact lens is going to be kind of like an iPhone platform with all these apps on it. You're going to be able to see those apps through our eyes and control so many things. I've already had a demo of it where I've been able to change the song and the Sonos, just with using eye movements. So it's going to be the next big thing. And I love staying on the forefront of technology, but I also love supporting artists, and that's where Trubify comes in. And so, I can go on with the people I've worked with, but I think it's important for people to understand that Trubify is now rising up and offering opportunity for artists to make money. It's an app. So, you could go to the Trubify.com website, but then it'll lead you to downloading it for your phone and starting to live stream. We're working with Sweetwater and a bunch of, iHeartRadio and a bunch of people to get this kicked off. And the more artists that get on the platform, the more money is going to be moved through the ecosystem to pay artists what they deserve. So definitely go there. But that's kind of like our little recap. And, I think I mentioned in 2014, I launched glowliving.com after getting a certification in life coaching, because I just absolutely love personal growth and development. And I think what you were saying about carving out time, that's what it's all about. We have to carve out time for ourselves. That's what self-love and self-care and self-growth is all about, is taking that time for yourself. So what that'll do is actually help you focus on the things that are really true and authentic, so that you don't have to do all the rest of it. I had a freaking to-do list from hell. And I realized when I looked at it one day, it was multi-page, double-sided, blah, 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 that so much of it was self-imposed, because I have a lot I want to do and do in this world. But I realized that when I started connecting in with what was important to me, all of a sudden my to-do list got reprioritized. I was able to let go of the things that weren't serving me anymore, past ideas of things I wanted to do, things that I just been holding on to almost for no reason, just because it was something I wanted to do in the past. And I was able to reprioritize that in a way where I could go straight to the goals that I think are going to level me up and get me to that rise that I'm looking for to reach my highest potential, which we talked about is leaving a legacy for personal growth and development on the music community, the artist community, and generally the general public, really. And so that's kind of my focus right now.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff. And
a lot.
It's funny.
Sometimes I just have to stop myself,
That's okay. I'm just like,
just wrap it up, Chandra.
listening to you is like, I feel like I'm dreaming. I'm going through a guided meditation, and just all these thoughts come up for me that I, want to also, respond with, because there's some things there. Let me ask you, what was the last thing that inspired you recently?
Well, this is interesting. So not to say I inspired myself, but because I'm going to come across all wrong. But I didn't have anything that was inspiring me at the beginning of the year. I was feeling a bit dark, going through a breakup, all kinds of stuff. And so I launched an inspiration campaign through my, especially on Instagram, if you go Glow Living on Instagram, because every single day of the month, I wanted to post a picture of something that inspired me. It was a way for me to reconnect with my own inspirations, because I feel like your inspirations are what illuminate your path, what the path that you're meant to be on. If if they're your inspirations, then you're going to be guided towards that joy. And so well, what the heck am I, inspired by? I had to reconnect with that. So every day I put something that inspires me on there and ask my audience, what inspires you? And I got a lot of connection. You talked about the meaning of doing all this is connecting with other people and stuff too. And I got a lot of feedback on these awesome inspirational things that people just love and that fuel their life, and that added to my list. And so I would say, if anybody's wondering what inspires them, it can be a myriad of things. It can be simply nature, getting outside, especially during the pandemic and being on tons of Zoom calls. We have to counterbalance that with being out in nature more. I started getting into crafting and arts. I mean, in fact, I was starting to develop, I started creating these bracelets, and people were wanting to commission me to make them for them and for gifts. And I'm like, well, that's not really my business, but I'll make your wife one of those for their birthday or whatever. But it was because I was starting to create at a higher level and tapping into this higher level, higher frequency, whatever you want to call it, that my art started becoming so much better. And I've done artisan chocolates. I've done candle making, all these kind of things. I'm just trying for the first time to find inspirations. And for musicians, of course, it's going to be in the music area. But, I invite, most musicians have other artistic abilities, like innate to their soul. And like I work with Andy Summers as one of my clients, and he and I promoted from the Police, and he and I promoted an amazing show he did at the Met in New York. And I flew out there, and what it was is mainly him talking about his life, but with his photography in the background. He's a photographer. He's got a coffee table books and played and music. So he was combining it and making this multimedia experience. And if you can find other things that are that you love and enjoy to do, you might find that they kind of increase your abilities in all kinds of areas of your life. So the simple question of what inspires me, it's like, leads me to all this, but I definitely am just coming off of doing that, for myself with that January campaign.
Wow. I love the candles. I always wanted to learn how to make candles. And Steve Vai's he's got a bee farm making honey. Other things.
So many different ways. I would love people to write in from this even. I'm still looking for inspiration, what motivates people. My February, if you guys want to check that out, is all about, so imagining what it is that you want as though it's already happening. So if you imagine yourself exercising every day, or if you imagine yourself, making candles or whatever it is, or beekeeping, imagine it as though it's already happening, because this is part of the process of materializing your goals, right? First, we have to get inspired and figure out what inspires us. Then we have to imagine it into some kind of vision. And then next month is going to be the month of activating on it, because it's the spring. It's perfectly in tune with nature. You start to let those little seeds that you sowed about, that you're germinating about your inspirations and what you want to create, to burst forth and start to grow. And that's when you start to see, you have to put some energy behind it and start to move your goals forward. So I always look at what's happening in the rhythm of nature, because I don't want to force myself to create something when it's not time for that. If it's not the time of initiation and spring and growth, why am I forcing it? If we're in the winter and we're in the fallow period, and I'm just supposed to be imagining and dreaming and planting seeds for things to grow later, then that's where I want to be. I don't want to be against nature. So for me, I'm learning to understand the rhythms of nature and get in sync with it, because that's what's going to actually help it all happen more effortlessly.
And this is happening in February?
February right now. Yeah, you can go to Instagram. Glow Living's Instagram page, and every day I'm posting
Oh,
a new thing that they can help imagine for themselves.
I love that. So what do you do? Okay, from what you just said, and it reminds me of they say that prayer is manifestation, and then meditation is the listening part of it, because you have up and down. You've got some of what you said earlier in the interview was it reminded me of the phoenix, because the phoenix has to go down first before it goes up. You made a comment about something about being down is the something for going up. I forgot what it was. I had
Well, okay, so Root to Rise, the
Root to
name of
Rise.
my
Thank you.
course,
That's
all
where I was.
about rooting, right, in order to rise up. And if any of you have ever taken a yoga class, you've probably done the tree pose. And in order to be stable, you got to root down, and kind of the yoga teacher might even say, visualize your roots, coming off your feet into the earth. And you got to anchor that in, because if you don't do that, you have this wobbliness, and your branches will only be able to grow so far. If you're really rooted in, then you have that stable base so that your branches can rise up. And your branches are really just metaphors for what you want to create, right? If you want to have fruit coming off of your branches, they've got to reach their fullest peak and their fullest potential in order to start to fruit. And so you have to have that stable base for it to do that, or it's just going to always be stunted. And that's a metaphor for life. We have to build a solid, stable foundation in order to be able to expect ourselves to reach any of these goals.
So what's a good how when I'm asking you this question, what I see is vision boards, or what are some simple things people can do to begin to manifest a life that they see themselves in it during spring here?
Actually, I have, funny enough, I'm looking right now. I'd have to go get it, but I'm looking at 3 vision boards that I've done in the last 3 years. And
Oh, wow. Are you going to post those on Instagram or no?
do you want to see them? Oh my God.
You can post them on
I can
Instagram. Do one today, one
What?
tomorrow.
I can definitely post them. Yeah. And I think that anything you could do to bring it into form. So, but here's the thing. So I also work with archetypes, and I had a partner, Kristen Desange. We created a program called Own Your Throne, and it was all about learning about the archetypes. And every month we had a new archetype. And so the month of January is the visionary. So that's the month where I was talking about inspiration, right? We have to feel into what inspires us, and to be able to start to visualize these things, right? And then February is the month of the mystic, and that's more about it starting to take form, but it's, we're materializing it. We're starting to create something out of nothing. And then the March month is of the warrior, the warrioress, is putting into action, starting to really manifest it. But what are you manifesting? Like, if you didn't do that work in the months prior, then you got to catch up with yourself. So I would definitely recommend, if you're not really sure, then create a vision board. Just look through all kinds of inspirations. I like that. I don't like this, and start to pull it in. And you can do it based on these life root areas. What do I want for my health and fitness? What do I want for my family? What do I want for my relationship? What do I want for my career? And what kind of friend relationships do I want to develop? And then you could create visions for all of those and start to bring them into manifestation.
That's some deep stuff. That's some deep stuff.
Yeah, the month of March, which is coming up, y'all, is it's about taking action. And I'm actually building my next campaign, which is called Make It Happen. And it's like all about, okay, well, what are the real things we know what we want. We've imagined what we want for ourselves, right? We've done that in February. So next month is going to be about, okay, now what is the first step that we can take to get started on those things? We don't have to bite off too much, but our goal is to eventually see the fruits of it, right? And that's not going to happen until the peak of summer, or till harvest, when we can, fall, when we start to harvest these things. So if you want to start a business, or you want to write a song, or you want to, lose some weight, or whatever these things are, now is the time to imagine that for yourself, as though you're at your end result. What does that really look like, feel like, taste like, and everything, so that you even know what you're going towards. Then next month, put a few of these things into action. Okay, in order to get that goal, here are the top things that I need to do, and create that to-do list and start actioning on them. Don't expect yourself to, have it all yet. That it's not time for that yet. It's going to be time for that more in the summer and in the fall, when we're harvesting the fruits of that labor.
So what's a simple thing you can do to get started? Like when you said that, my first thought was, I don't have it here. There's this cashew dark chocolate thing that Trader Joe's sells. Dark chocolate is always the beginning of my. But what can, aside from dark chocolate, what can, it is February. It's a second month. We had Valentine's Day. On board with dark chocolate.
So I've been tracking all of my food, for I think I'm on day 48 today. And every single day there's been a piece of dark chocolate. I'm sorry, it's a must have. I'm going to plan for it, but I'm not going to let it go. But there's all kinds of stuff. I did a sneaky trick of, I wanted to stop caffeine. And so I decided, well, I'm going to go ahead and get decaf, and I'm going to take these ginseng, tablets with my decaf coffee, so you can switch up your, some of these patterns. Like, you don't have to deny yourself everything that you love. Just reframe it, modify it, do what you need to do to not have conflicting goals. It's like, on one hand, I want to have my coffee and enjoy that, and I don't want to be resentful that I have to give it away. But on the other hand, I need a little boost too. So it's like, okay, what are other sources that I can find for generating energy in the morning? So I would say, don't give up the things that you love. Just find healthier forms of it. Unless, it's unhealthy addiction. And then, you're going to have to do some work around that. And we talked about how Root to Rise can help with addictions as well before this call. And I wanted to make sure I shared that, which is that the foundation of the Root to Rise course is understanding your human needs. And the quiz that David was talking about was specifically about learning which of your needs is driving your key life decisions. And yes, there's a free quiz on glowliving.com to give you those results. And what happens, his was variety. And when he knows that he has that need for variety, he can find so many ways of meeting that need, right? And if he was into drugs, wow, he could have a field day, right? Ooh, I'm going to try, all kinds of drugs. I could try pot, or I could try Coke. I can try acid. Oh, let's try microdosing. Let's do some shrooms, whatever, because there's so much variety in that. But that's an unhealthy pattern, as we all know. How can he get his needs met for variety in other ways? What are other healthy ways to meet the needs for variety? Well, for him, it's hosting this podcast and meeting all these different guests, connecting with his audience. Every day there's a different guest. Every audience member has a different perspective that they're giving him feedback on. He's connecting over, so he can get his need for variety met by creating something that will also bring him a variety of benefits and gifts and potentially sponsors and money and, a brand. And so find positive ways of getting the same need met. And when you learn what these needs are that are driving your life, and you see what the unhealthy ways you are meeting those needs, and then you replace them with the healthy ways of getting them met, that's the first step. That's the first step, is identifying your patterns of getting needs met, and then identifying the ones that are not healthy, and then replacing them with healthy ways. And if you're like completely stuck, like, I don't know how to meet this need in a healthy way, then give me a call, because I'll brainstorm with you all kinds of ways that you can get those needs met in healthy ways to level up, to not have those addictions and those things holding you back. Now, I'm not, if you need a treatment center or a therapist, I would refer you. I'm not that kind of coach, but I can at least help you identify areas that you want to improve for yourself, and find new ways that you can try to be held accountable for that.
So you're saying, like, if somebody signs up for your course, you're allowing them to call you and you'll do a one-on-one with them, that's included, or is that extra with the price?
Yeah, I mean, I offer a 30-minute free session always.
Wow.
And in that session, I can pretty much say, look, if we're getting into an area that needs a trained therapist, I will be honest and say, we're getting into an area that is I'm not qualified to help you with. What I can help you with is helping you help yourself. That's what the difference between a coach and a therapist, I should probably clarify. Uh, I'm here as a coach to help people help themselves. So a therapist will get in the weeds with all of the past trauma and childhood stuff, and they have techniques and modalities and thousands of hours that they have to put in to be ready to work with people on that level. And so what happens is we have a symbiotic relationship where we can refer clients to each other, where somebody who is, say, has a therapy client, like an actual therapist has a client, they might say, well, you can work with Chandra on, helping you realize your goals, figuring out things you can do in your life to, achieve those, rebranding yourself, all that kind of stuff. But me, I'm going to be working with you on the psychological aspects of your childhood, how that, it's contributed to all of that. Now, I can help people identify certain beliefs that are holding them back, but they're the ones doing it for themselves. That's why they don't need a lot of personal time with me. They can work through the materials, the worksheets and stuff that are in the course to uncover and identify this stuff for themselves. And the reason I do the 30-minute thing is really just if they're having like question about the material, or they're feeling stuck in some way, and they just, need a quick, like, should we be working together to move forward on this stuff, or is there a quick thing I'm not seeing that, will move me through the program?
Yeah, that's a lot of
So
stuff. That's great.
I usually just like to offer that because I like getting feedback from people too. I want to hear I don't want it to just be a one-sided conversation.
It's a lot of stuff. There's a lot there. Man, there's so much there. It's really great that you're doing that. And I just want to bring people in on. Let me bring the screen up here. So we have the Trubify, which helps artists out, and this is a really great place for you to go. Let me back out a second. So this is a great place to go for learning more about how to take advantage of the pandemic.
Live, specifically being able to live stream
Yeah.
your musical performances and get tipped and find different ways of they're going to be adding a lot of monetization features. You'll eventually be able to actually sell tickets to live stream shows. You could give them backstage access to you. There's all kinds of stuff that you can do there to monetize your, I mean, getting discovered is something else that you can do on there, because right now it's early days. They're about to onboard a ton of artists, so you want to get on there, get your stream started now, and then people can find you,
or get your dream started right now, since it's March. It's the March Madness.
that's an action item, right? It's a make it happen item. Just sign up for that, and it's free to onboard. And then and you're showing the videos that I have available with awesome artists that are very inspirational.
Yeah, I wanted to show this. So this is one I get a lot from. It's the Omar, Hakim, Rachel Z interview that Chandra did. And then, for you Steve Vai fans, I'll throw that one up.
Yeah. I love how you can share this.
Isn't that fun?
Cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Yeah.
I'm just
and there's
driving
definitely there's tons of other interviews there. I mean, there's other musicians, and then there's other people too that I found to be really inspirational.
Yeah,
so
there's a lot
definitely check those out. There's some direct trainings from me on there too for the Root Rise stuff. Just check out the different playlists,
Yeah. There's a lot there. There's a lot I try to show the page, the YouTube page that has all those videos on it, but it doesn't.
This is cool though. They get to see example one.
Yeah, there's examples there.
Yeah.
And
but you know what?
also
take the quiz. Yeah. I want them to take the quiz. I love that you took it, and there's 6 different results that they can get, and you got variety. I haven't taken the quiz recently. Mine is probably Transcendence, which is
that Glow Living, or is that on
just glowliving.com?
Oh, there it is.
Bar free quiz.
Let's go there.
And that one will give you a free, once you do it, you'll learn your top driving need, and then you'll get an email with a video each time the email comes in with a different need that you can learn about. So all these needs here that are part of my course need to be taught. And so you'll learn about security, you'll learn about a need that we do have for variety and uncertainty. You'll learn about your need for intimacy and connecting with other people, your need for growth, and your need to transcend your own needs to help other people, which is probably the one that would come up if I took it. Yeah, see right next to the logo, it says take quiz. They just have to click on that.
Let's see if this works. I'm going to try to do this.
If that one will tie you to the newsletter, and then the quiz will also.
Oh, here's take quiz right next to the logo.
Yeah.
So start to glow, yeah? Oh,
Yeah.
no, here's the quiz.
There it is. So it's only 9 questions, people.
Can you see
it's
it?
super fast.
Can you see?
Yeah, I was able to see it.
Oh, good.
Now we're at the footer now. You have to go up to the top. But yeah, it's only 9 questions. Yep, super quick, multiple choice. And from that, you're going to learn about your top driving need, and you'll get a little video, and then you'll start to get the videos of the other 6 needs. So you learn, because we have all 6. It's just that there's certain ones driving our decision making, and I call them our hidden forces, because there's these hidden forces that are driving our decisions. And the punchline is that they're really tied to human needs psychology.
Mm-hmm. True.
Which I've studied in detail, and it's the foundation to the Root to Rise course.
And you've grown up with,
because you learn how they apply to all these. What's that?
I was going to say, you grew up with a lot of psychology in your background.
Yes. So I'm not a trained psychologist, but I am a certified coach, and I did learn about the human needs. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs was probably one of the earlier inventors philosophers around needs. Then Tony Robbins and Chloe Madonna's adapted on those needs, and then I've adapted them further from my course, and I've applied them to these life root areas. So you can see how you're meeting your needs in every one of your life root areas. And when you learn that, you can break all kinds of unhealthy patterns, beliefs that don't serve you, things holding you back, so that then you could get onto the Rise part of the program, which is all about, connecting to that higher purpose and leaving more of a legacy, like we talked about earlier.
I'm gonna think a lot about that, because one thing that is really important is the people that you choose to have in your life, and what part of this, are they close in the circle, or are they farther away in the circle, or I'll share a little something.
That's part of the Root to Rise course. I call it the intimacy ladder. Yeah. And it allows you to actually assign people to your ladder and think about the expectations that you have for them, and whether they've agreed to those expectations, whether they're having those expectations have caused any conflict, whether you want to change the order of your ladder as a healthier way to get your needs met. Like if we're investing in someone at the top of our ladder that's just not showing up for us, we don't necessarily have to throw them off our ladder. We can just move them down a couple rungs and not expect so much, So that is part of the course, is looking at that. I'm telling you, there's a lot woven into this course to where anything you say, I could probably go, oh yeah, learn about it here, because I've thought about this as a system for loving life. So I've had to look at all these life areas and how we meet our needs with them, and what we have to do to balance them so we can rise up. And I talk about grief and loss. I talk about all kinds of stuff in this program.
I'm signing up. I'm gonna be part of the I'm marching toward March.
Okay, I'm gonna sign you up for free. So how about that? You know what? And here's what I'll do.
Totally
I will sign anybody who's listening to this live stream, and here we go. Top five. I'll sign up for free.
For free? Oh my God. I got to put that in the crawler. Hold on a second. For free. Top
5. So you got to message us. So what should they do? Should they just comment, and we can see them in order of their comments?
Wait, hold on a second.
Say sign me up.
First 5.
If they say sign me up, then we'll direct message them with how to get signed up for free.
Wow, that's so huge of you. Oh my God, I love that. Yeah. This is totally off the cuff.
A code I can send them like a heartbeat. They can sign up today. So just have them do write in the comments, sign me up, and we'll pick the first 5, and we'll see if I'm feeling generous and add to that later. But at least you and 5 others will get signed up for free today.
Thank you. Wow. Thank
And
you.
the rest can have a 75% discount. People, it's less than $40. Like, can we even get out of Starbucks for $40 anymore?
Oh, that's so awesome. So this is now what you're signing them up for is the free Roots to Rise.
Rise, part 1. Yep, part 1. It's called Roots. Part 2 is Rise. It was meant to be one program, and it got to be so, deep and involved that it was just easier to kind of graduate them from the Roots and get them onto the Rise.
That's
so
huge.
Get into your Roots. It's so fun. You get to learn your driving needs and how they are playing out in your life and what's holding you back and how to unbreak patterns.
What's the value? Normal rate?
$149.
Oh, that's not bad either. So that's something that's
it was, what, I started off with this big high ticket program. I was listening to too many coaches about how to monetize, and I just said, F that. I can't deal with, I want to make it reasonable for the pandemic. I don't want to worry about people being able to afford it. I just want people to experience it and let me know the impact that it brought to their lives. That's what I need right now, is that feedback. So I'm willing to do these kind of promotional things to get it going.
Wow,
I'm ready for it to start off.
So I'm going to put that in the crawler here. Let's just reiterate here. Hold on a second. Glow Marketing. Okay. First 5 viewers get free Glow Living Roots to Rise Part 1. It's normally $149. Everyone else is 75% off for mentioning sound waves. So mention sound waves. How do they get into? How should they respond? Is that on? How should they respond on Instagram or glowliving.com?
This is yes. How should we do this? Sorry, not everybody can see that we did not plan this in advance. This is a live off the cuff giveaway. So well, I was thinking that if they're watching this on Facebook, that they can just put it in the comments, sign me up, and then we'll direct message them. But is this going to be broadcast outside of Facebook?
It's broadcasting live right now on YouTube and Facebook.
Okay, so with this, I'm going to change the instructions because I did not think it through. Email the first 4 people to email info@glowliving.com with sound waves in the subject line. I will email back a link to sign up for free.
Wow, that's so exciting.
And if I'm feeling really, really generous, I won't worry about the top 5. But we'll see what mood I'm in. I'm kind of moody.
Nice.
But at least the top 5 will get it. So info@glowliving.com will reach me or my assistant, and we'll get everybody signed up.
All right, let me see if the crawler.
If you didn't make the first 5, we'll send you the link with the code for the 75% off. So you could get it for, I think it's $37.25 is 75% off of $149.
Can you see that at the bottom? Does that look good? Email
info@glowliving.com. Subject: sound waves, root to rise. That's great.
Ooh, I've been wanting to do something like that. Thank you for being my first, because I always wanted to. I have a live show. It's like we could do something where it's a giveaway if you watch the show, and smash that like button, all that stuff. And subscribe.
Well, we'll get real good at figuring out the call to action. I think it'll just be easier if they direct connect with me, because then I can handhold them through the process of signing up. Info@glowliving.com will reach me and my assistant, and we can help you out for sure. But I think that we've been on a long time, and so hopefully somebody's watching and wants to sign up. But if they don't,
regardless, it'll still be there. I like to tell myself, I don't know if I'm going to go to heaven or hell, but I'll live forever in the cloud. Anyway.
There you go. And hey, you know what? Here, I'm going to make one more invitation, which is if you're watching the replay, don't think, I won't win, so I'm not going to do it. Just send me a message anyway. And like I said, if I'm in a good mood, then I'm just going to sign you up, or I'll at least give you the 75% off. So just email me either way. I think that's going to be the easiest way, because then I make sure not to miss you on social communications.
And something, you and I have both, as a result of this, have done our purpose in changing the lives of other people.
I hope so.
Living a life. Yeah.
it's really up to them to change their own life. I'm just here as a guide with a program that has a framework to do it. I did not have that when I was young. I was looking for it, and I built this for myself. In fact, somewhere around here, I have a handwritten sketch of this graphic, and I innovated on it, and I developed on it over the years, and I finally came out with it. And I did this as a live workshop. You guys can watch a video on this page about the class. You could see people getting the workshop live, and all of their testimonials are on there, all their videos of other people talking about what they got out of it. And so if you don't want to just take it from me, you can watch all the attendees talking about it. But I cannot wait to get back to being able to do live conferences and workshops and start to get in person with people again. So this is going to do, and this is really awesome. And I just cannot thank you enough for having me on here talking about this, my favorite topics of all time.
And I thank you for signing me up to Roots to Rise for free. But reconnecting with you has been the most important part.
I got to send you the right account. So you send me your email also that you want to be associated with your ID, and we'll get everybody going on this. But yes, so I hope everybody has benefited at least with one aspect of the call, whether it be to sign up on Trubify for your artist account, or whether it be to watch all the interviews with other artists and just get inspired yourself. Follow my social media with so you can start to, in my newsletter, so you can start to know when to activate what for yourself to be in rhythm with nature. And see if this course is right for you, and give us feedback.
Absolutely.
What did you like? What landed? Mm-hmm.
There's a lot that can be, there's a lot that can be gleaned from all that. God, there's so much to unpack, and it's a positive thing. And now's the time to do it. We have time on our hands, and even if you don't, you can always make some time. You can always make time to better your life, and you'll be glad that you did, right?
Exactly.
You'll be glowing.
Prioritize yourself. Prioritize yourself. Well, a lot of people feel powerless during the pandemic and with the political climate that we're in. What can I do about it? And what you can do about it is you can work on yourself to show up as your best self. Because if everybody did that, if everybody was showing up as their best self, putting positive intentions and energy into the world, we will live in a different place. It will be a better place. I mean, I know that's Pollyanna, and I tell everybody I'm not a Pollyanna person, but it is true. Our personal responsibility is to ourselves and showing up as best as we can. Beyond that, we can't do that much. We can't force other people to change. We can instigate the changes within ourselves to become inspirations and become legends and become all that type of stuff we've been talking about, to set examples for other people and youth of tomorrow and all that type of stuff. So, start on prioritizing yourself, and that's the way that you can feel most empowered, that you're making a difference, even if it's through a ripple effect of people are looking at you. Everybody has a sphere of influence. It could be their children, it could be their best friends, it can be an audience of fans. Use that influence for good by showing up as your best self, having done the work, having shared your authenticity and your challenges. And I honestly think that that is the way that we can make a difference.
That's awesome. Well, Chandra, thank you so much for being on Sound Waves.
Wow.
And I'm excited to see what's going to happen and how many lives.
My pleasure. I hope you can.
Excellent. Thanks again.
Yeah.